This is gonna be good, man. I mean, check out all the riders getting ready to go. We got some big names, some fresh faces. I'm fired up about this one, Alan.
Dude, I'm totally fired up. I can't think of a better way to start off this week's competition than with speed and style, head-to-head competition. It's the best.
Thinking about it though, if they're in the gate, no, look at what time it is. The show starts like right now. We gotta go. This is the best way to start. We got tricks, we got racing. Hey, you guys are here too. That's great. This is the Crankworx Innsbruck Speed and Style. We're gonna do this show right now. Come on, join us. All right, let's get these headsets on here. Take a look at what we got in store for us today. A little bit of a redesigned course here on this Crankworx Innsbruck venue. We've been coming back here for the last 8 years, and this speed and style has absolutely been delivering. We got some gates after this final jump out. I'm stoked to see this.
Yeah, one of the biggest changes is they've taken out the stall wall from last year and just added a huge jump for that final trick set. So we're gonna be seeing some amazing, amazing stunts on that final jump this year.
So here we had a little look back at how Ryan Gilchrist found his way into the round of 8, which is where we'll be joining up the competition for our broadcast here today. Obviously, when we're talking about Ryan Gilchrist this season, we're talking about a whole lot of points next to his name on the King of Crankworx overall standings. He's currently leading the charge with 538 points, a bye run based on a great qualifying result. We'll see him in the round of 8 as well. But look at this, the number 2 qualifier, Jaden Fleming, had to go up against the reigning and currently ranked number 2 King of Crankworx. He had to pull out some big tricks to do it though, Alan.
Yeah, he definitely did. Tohoto, master on the starts and the power out of the gate. Not so strong on the trick side of things. He's been learning, but look, watch this. Look what Jaden does. He sees that rider in front of him and pulls that trigger on the double backflip and earns enough points to deduct from his time to be able to move on. That's the beauty of speed and style, is when you see your competitor in front of you, you can lay it down and make up.
Honestly, how close they were in run number 1, he would not have knocked out Tohoto unless he went for that double backflip. There was only .177 separating them. So in the clutch, Jaden Fleming delivering, signing himself up for the round of 8. As we prepare for what is sure to be an eventful 8th time visiting beautiful Innsbruck, Austria here amidst the picturesque peaks of the Alpine Mountains.
Yeah, looking back at some of the exciting events last year, we saw some slalom action there. This is pump track right here. We saw that beautiful ending from Emil last year on speed and style. Yeah, we have an amazing event ahead of us here in Innsbruck.
No, it's good to be back. I mean, this is one that we've been visiting since 2017. If you think about it, we didn't even miss a single year during the COVID era, and the fans are coming out in big numbers this year as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome to be able to make it through all the way through COVID. I mean, this is the 8th year, so people are expecting us to be here. They're expecting these riders. They have their favorite riders. The fans are going to be going off all week.
No, it's going to be great. And I mentioned earlier about this course being slightly redesigned. What better way to get a look at this course than getting on board with our riders in this GoPro course preview?
Hey, I'm Daniel Ferri.
I'm Jordy Scott.
We're here at Crankworx Innsbruck, and this is a GoPro Speed and Style course preview.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
And gates down. Couple rollers, step down. Into a 360, into the slalom course. Shark fit, big fat berms. Into a late flip. So, last level course and into a finish line.
Nice run. All right, that's your GoPro course preview here in Innsbruck. We'll see you guys on the track.
We talk about this being an iconic dual speed and style course here on the Crankworx World Tour, but some of you may be joining us for your first time ever watching a speed and style competition, so allow us to break down exactly how this format works.
Yeah, it's super, super interesting. There is a currency for points, or for speed. You can actually buy speed with points. So we're looking here, run number 1, you see me on the top and you on the bottom here, Cam. I go a little bit faster than you. I have a 1 second advantage, but what happens when we go into run 2 and we throw tricks involved?
So in this example, I'm riding slower than you. I need to buy myself some time. And like you said, the time is for sale. You can buy yourself some time deductions by scoring big on the trick jumps. So if I score 110 points, easy math, that equates to 1.1 seconds taken off my time. If I do two big enough tricks, hopefully I can shave enough time off to beat you once we crunch the numbers. And in this example, unfortunately for me, you advance into the next round. Each rider takes a run on each side of the course. Fastest combined time moves into the next round. And we're joining up with our competition in the men's category at the round of 8. Of course, then we'll go round of 4, and then it'll be time to give away some medals.
Oh yeah, it'll be the power stages. That's what we like to see as we go down at the categories or as the brackets, they get faster and faster and faster, and it's always the last run that's the fastest one of the day.
Things heat up quick, and once we get into the round of 4, we will bring the women into the fold as well. This is the dual speed and style Innsbruck, and it starts right now.
Crankworx is... it's a crazy thing to be involved in.
It's hectic, but you're in it and you're just like loving it.
A reunion of friends and people in different cultures.
All these cool different locations, all these different tracks.
There's always so much stuff going on. People are just stoked on biking, and they're just stoked to be here.
Hearing so much energy around.
Yeah, we live for that.
Unreal.
Please make sure that your seatbelt is fastened. Thank you and enjoy your flight.
It's the third stop of 4 on this 2024 Crankworx World Tour. We were in New Zealand, then we were in Australia, and now we're in the Alps. Beautiful Innsbruck, Austria, as we mentioned before, for the 8th time. Started visiting here in 2017, and what a unique place. Crankworx Innsbruck's truly an opportunity to bring urban city vibes and alpine adventures together. What a unique valley here. It's actually called the Whip Valley, which is appropriate. We had the whip off last night. We're gonna see plenty of big tricks and whips in today's speed and style competition. The crowd is out in full force, as we mentioned before. Never any lack of enthusiasm from the Austrians out here.
Yeah, never any lack of enthusiasm, that's for sure. Some of the biggest fans of mountain biking are here in Europe, in the mountains. I mean, look how big these mountains are. How could you not be into mountain biking?
I mean, this event is a great way to start the festival as well. It's our first broadcast competition. You get a little sampler platter, like some tapas of all the things you can expect from the next couple days of this festival. Some big tricks, some racing. Let's see who had fastest speeds and big enough tricks to make it into our round of 8 today. Here's our men's bracket, Alan.
Yeah, the bracket's looking good. We see Winkler up there, the fastest qualifier. We've seen him on the podium before. He's definitely going to be one to watch. Ferri and Fru, that heat number 2, that's going to be one to watch. The number 4 and number 5 qualifiers, super close matchup there. What are you seeing?
I mean, I always look at the top, which has the number 1 qualifier, and then I look at the bottom, heat number 4, that has the number 2 qualifier. Jade and Fleming right now having to really pull out all the stops in the round of 16 in order to beat out Tohoto. He's going to have a tough matchup again. He's going up against Gilchrist, but he has that front flip on jump 1, that double backflip at the bottom. He may have to pull that out and run number 1 against Gilchrist.
Yeah, but something Gilchrist has is some motivation. Currently sitting atop of our King of Crankworx standings, you know he's going to be chasing every single point available out there today.
And then Jackson Fru, sitting 3rd in the standings, is going to have to go up against the silver medalist Daniel Ferri, the Italian, who picked up that 2nd place at the last stop. So he's got some momentum on his side as well.
And momentum is a crazy thing, especially in head-to-head sports.
Bernd Winkler, though, last year in Whistler, popped onto the podium. Really impressive here last year. He was 5th place. So, I mean, this is a little bit closer to home for Bernd. He took that number 1 qualifying spot. Will we see a collision course between those top riders, Bernd Winkler and Jaden Fleming? Each one of these riders has to make it out of this round of 8 bracket to have an opportunity at making it into that gold medal matchup. It's been a long day already, but there's plenty more to go. And this is where things start to heat up right here. Run 1, the round of 8 matchup. Number 1 qualifier, Bernd Winkler against Jonas Sonnenberg.
So one of the most important things on this course is the start, and Bernd doing exactly what he needs to do, getting that start. A triple combo for Bernd off the first jump, 360 bar to X up, keeping that momentum going. He sees his competitor just out of the corner of his eye, and that's all he needs to do is just stay right in front of him, execute his tricks, do exactly what he needs to do right there.
Sonnenberg taking a peek up, realizing he's quite a ways behind in the race aspect of this heat. Going for the back foot bar spin to tuck no hander, getting a little bit bigger trick on the second jump than we saw from Bernd Winkler. We're gonna see what the story will be once we judge both of these trick jumps and then tabulate that into the time. So we see Sonnenberg score higher on that second jump than Winkler, but it's going to be enough for Bernd to be the leader into their second run of this round of 8 matchup. Bernd Winkler with the advantage.
So Jaden was able to eliminate about 0.25 off of his time. Not enough to get ahead of our #1 qualifier, but all these riders will go back up to the top and take a second run on the other side. So it's not over yet.
So great to see Jackson Frug here making it into the round of 8. He qualified 4th. If you remember last stop in Cairns, man, he was fighting through some pain with that bloody hand. We could see the blood through his glove. We caught up with him about it.
It's actually come really good. After Cairns, I kind of had a week where pretty cruisy, not too much going on, bit of travel and all that sort of stuff. So having it out of a glove and all that sort of stuff really made a big difference. Yeah, Cairns didn't help though.
Each event presents its own challenges, but he's got to be relieved to not have his bloody burnt up hand sticking to the inside of his glove here in Innsbruck. You got to give it to him. He picked up a lot of points out there in Cairns. He's sitting in 3rd in the King standings right now, but right at this point, he's got to get past Daniel Ferri, who's been on a tear in this discipline.
Yeah, this is going to be speed versus... Looks like Ferri got a little wind blown there, front end high. Looks like he's probably going to end up getting that max differential.
Man, honestly, with the amount of tricks that Daniel Ferri... Oh, no, Daniel Ferri goes down again. If he wasn't going to have to settle for the maximum differential after that first mistake, he's definitely going to be sitting with that max diff now.
Yeah, what I was saying as we were going into that before Daniel made that mistake, this is a true speed versus style competition right here. Jackson Frug known for the speed and what he can do on this course in the turns, out of the gate, and across that finish line.
Let's see what happened
Ferri
here
with the stunts.
The wind potentially playing a part in that here on jump #1, left side of your screen. Daniel Ferri going for the 360 bar spin to X up. Get kind of caught up on his rotation there, going front tire high. A little bit shorter than he needed to be on the landing as well. You see what the dust is doing. Could potentially have been a bit of a headwind, making it more challenging for him to clear that jump.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes when you come off that lip, your body becomes a little bit of a sail when you start spinning. We'll see right here. Watch when he gets about 270 in the rotation. Oh, wait, this is the last jump. Does that flip bar spin and comes in. Oh, he looks good there.
Could have been just on the gates right after he landed the trick. He went into the bank. Let's see what happened. He must have just lost front tire traction.
These turns are very flat and very tight. And you saw him on the pedals before he even came off the landing and just came in a little too hot for that.
This is why, you know, you take, if you're Jackson Frug, you take the minimal tricks that you have in your bag and you just try your hardest with it, because you never know what can happen. This is exactly what Jackson needs to happen if he's going to advance past Daniel Ferri. Jackson will have quite a big advantage here against a rider who has a whole lot more tricks in his bag. So things are looking good for Jackson Frug to make it through. He is 125 points back in the King standings. We had Tohoto get knocked out in the round of 16, so big opportunity here for Frug if he's able to advance to the round of 4. But now heat #3, run #1, you have your #3 qualifier, Kovak, going up against Jonathan Simek.
Simek from the United States, our #6 qualifier. It's been awesome to see him kind of be a regular on this Crankworx World Tour. We've been seeing him at more and more events. Had a good time with him last night. He was showing me through the whip-off jump for the first time, showing me the way, but really cool to see more riders making this a regular stop on their series.
Gotta give it to Theodore Kovak for locking in that third place qualification result as well. But this should be a tight battle here.
Yeah, both side by side out of the gate right there. Maybe Theodore a slight advantage going to that jump. Flip bar spin to X up.
Oh, what happened to Simek?
Both riders down, it's not over, and he turns around.
Yes.
He's not sure what to do.
Simek's got the momentum.
Both riders making a mistake. I'm not sure if Jonathan missed a gate, and that's why he was turning around, but he's back on. Both riders get straight flips off. Coming into these turns, you got to be so patient on those flat turns coming into the finish. I don't know what happened. That was crazy.
The great thing is we have the magic of instant replay. Okay, here we go. You just hear him say, "Did I miss a gate?" So he does this flip variation.
Oh my God, I did.
Did he go back up across it around it though? No, he just turned around and finished the run.
But I don't think he missed a gate. I think he just thought he was
just confused by that gate right there.
Confused, and then he does go around it. So I think he will be clean and will win this one.
He was completely on the correct side of that gate.
Well, I just gave him credit for being a regular on the tour, and he got lost on the speed and style course. But
Can you imagine though, you're upside down, doing a backflip, doing a variation. As soon as you spot your landing, you see a flag and you're like caught off guard. There's the pressure of this being the big moment of the day. First run during the broadcast.
And then you stop because you thought you missed a gate, and you turn around and your competitor's on the ground.
All right, still in this one. Thank goodness. Imagine if he didn't actually miss a gate, Kovak didn't actually crash, he would have just been sitting there on the course, stopped for no apparent reason. And instead, he's only a quarter of a second back. Kovak with the bigger trick variations, despite crossing the finish line second, will be the leader as we get them back up to the top of the course. A very eventful matchup there. The advantage going to Kovak.
That was a first for me. I had not seen that yet.
All right, this one's going to be Ryan Gilchrist going up against Jaden Fleming. And take a look at the kit from Gilchrist right now. If you're new to watching this and you've listened to us explain to you that we have some riders who specialize in jumping, some riders who specialize in racing, it's pretty easy to tell right now which one specializes in racing.
Yeah, that jersey's pretty tight. But a good day to have that jersey. It's a little bit windy out here. Gilchrist is definitely a racer. He's made his claim here on the Crankworx World Tour, but no stranger to World Cup Enduro racing, World Cup e-Enduro racing. Might even be leading the e-Enduro standings right now. Definitely one of the best all-around riders we have out here.
Well, Ryan Gilchrist is as fast as they come. Jaden Fleming's going to really need to pull out the big tricks.
Well, big tricks is something we saw Jaden Fleming send to make it into this round of 8. Let's see what he can do. Gilchrist getting a little bit loose on that toboggan. I'm not sure if he got the seat, and that front flip out of Jaden was perfect. So Jaden's definitely up on jump points, but Gilchrist has speed on the lock. X up to X up. Double backflip. Oh, and Jaden goes down. Not quite enough speed. Ends up casing that jump and goes over the front.
Oh man, he was so flawless with that double flip in the round of 16, going up against Tuhoto Ariki Pene. Big crash now, but he knew he had to pull out all the stops when you consider how fast Gilchrist is on this entire course, especially the start.
Yeah, I think if you were going to have to categorize these riders, you would put Gilchrist and Fru under the category as speed demons.
Also the category of, with the right instruction and a weekend at an airbag, maybe unstoppable.
A weekend? Like 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes and I'll get you flipping. Yeah, getting some replays in here. It does look like he did get the seat.
Barely though. Let's see what the judges do with that one.
Yeah, the judges will be judging these points. There's a scale for each trick, but they can actually get a little bit less if it's a sketchy execution and more than that standard points for amplitude, for extension and execution.
That's something we haven't talked about yet. Basically, if you don't do a trick, there's time added back onto your run. But here's a look back at this double backflip crash from Jaden Fleming.
Yeah, we see Jaden just coming up a little bit short, and his weight was completely wound up inside that rotation. And when he compressed, he had nowhere to compress but just go over the front.
Okay, let's see what the points were. So Gilchrist played a little defense there. He scored 5 points on the first jump for that toboggan where he almost missed his seat. Only 14 points in the second jump. And Jaden Fleming, of course, is going to have this max differential to make up in run number 2. He's going to have to do it all over again because Gilchrist is riding this like a racer. He's literally landing with the gas on, pedaling upon landing. He's also setting up on the last jump, looking at that gate while Fleming is looking back for 2 backflips. Gilchrist is setting up to land in the right spot on the landing to be able to line up those gates. So here's a look at who has the advantages here as we go into run number 2 in these quarterfinals, Alan.
Yeah, run number 2, we're seeing kind of what we expect. You see those faster qualifiers winning, except down there in the bottom when we saw Fleming go down. So it's going a bit to schedule, but we do have some outliers and some possible surprises out here today.
I learned some stuff. We've been coming here for 8 years. It's beautiful. I know that, but I was doing a little research about Innsbruck. The river is called Inn, and Innsbruck means bridge over the river. That's kind of cool. This is called Whip Valley that we're looking right here.
I like it.
Which I wish I would have realized that 8 years ago, which is pretty cool. But, you know, I look forward to coming here every year. The last 8 years have been great. We both brought bikes. We're going to get some riding in as well. And this has been a great home for Crankworx. It has fit right in, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the sickest venues. You can come here, you can watch all of the events, you can meet your heroes all in a day's session while riding the bike park. It's pretty sick.
And if you're not here with us, we want to kind of make you feel like you are here. So join the chat on the YouTube chat box at the bottom of the stream right now that you're watching. But also, we're going to be picking somebody from the chat to win this limited edition piece of Crankworx Innsbruck merchandise. But it's not just any shirt. It's got a whole lot of signatures on here. We've got the reigning king and queen, as well as, a lot of other ones right here. Who else do we have? We got Jordy Scott on there.
Yeah, we got Martha Gill, the leader of the current queen standings. So yeah, we got some good signatures on there.
Okay, great. Well, join the chat there, and we're going to send this shirt to one of you. Be entertaining in there. That's usually a great way to win the shirt. You know what was entertaining? Last night. This is Whip Valley, but right above the mountain here where our venue is, we had the whip contest, and it went off. Let's take a look back. You were doing it, Alan.
Oh yeah, this is the best jump on the circuit.
Oh my, that was Eddie Reynolds there with that left whip, wasn't it? The jump looks bigger this year.
Yeah, it got a little bit longer. They reworked it. Sea-Dog and his crew was out here getting it all dialed the week leading up to it, and yeah, it was riding better than it's ever ridden.
You said that as soon as the whip-off started, you're riding right into the sun, right?
Yeah, that's the only tough part about it. It's actually one of the more technical jumps because the lip looks like a wall. It's just a straight shadow, but obviously my boy Edgar right here doesn't even need to see where he's going.
Edgar Briel took the win in Rotorua to start the season. He took the win here at stop number 3. Looked like we had Georgia Assel out there on the top of the podium. Is that who won for the women?
Yeah, Georgia Assel winning, Kirsten Van Horn getting second place, and Lucy Van de Stern getting third in the women.
I mean, of course we didn't broadcast it, but it's always a great way to just get that energy up to start the festival. That was last night. Today is day 1 of broadcast competition, and it's all about speed and style right now, down to the fastest and trickiest 8 riders of the field. We started with 32 riders at the beginning of the day. We have whittled them down. Right now, we've got the number 1 qualifier, Bernd Winkler, loaded up into the gate against Jonas Sonnenberg. Bernd Winkler has that advantage of 1.7 seconds. Bernd Winkler, a rider with the slopestyle background, who's now found some success on the speed and style circuit. Second last year in Whistler. Let's see if he can get back on that podium.
So Jonas is going to be playing a little bit of catch-up here. He does pull that first trick like he wanted to, the double truck driver. Both riders staying fairly close to each other. Bernd keeping him in his sights.
You almost lose pump there.
Yeah, it looks like he sat on his seat a little bit as he was soaking up that last roller and lost a little bit of speed. Oh, it looks like he maybe got the boys right there.
Yeah. I think you read that one right. So we got some, we got to see what happened on the second jump there. Sonnenberg actually missing his trick, getting time added on. This is jump number 1 here. Some truck driver variations from both riders.
Yeah, Sonnenberg looking like maybe he wanted a little more, but he was coming in a little bit nose heavy and over-rotated. Definitely not something you want to mess with when you're behind on time.
Yeah, we've got to see what happened here.
Yeah, just before this, we saw Sonnenberg struggling a little bit out of that roller. But yeah, that missed trick is going to be a big negative for the overall time.
That right there is the same as having a mistake that causes you to lose 0.7 of a second. The dead sailor is the quickest way to kill your score. So Bernd Winkler looking pretty good on this one, coming into it with the advantage, crossing the finish line first, scoring higher on the points. And of course, he will advance into the next round, the round of 4. Sonnenberg, it's been a good ride, taking that 8th place qualification. Now he can join the spectators, maybe hit the beer garden.
Yeah, Bernd getting away with one right there. We did see him kind of sit on his seat and lose speed and only did a straight flip on that final jump. Got a little bit lucky there that Sonnenberg made that mistake, but he's advancing. It ain't over yet.
We're seeing so much of that today where you think you made the biggest mistake and then you look over and your competitor made an equal or worse mistake. King of Crankworx standings, we're going to be driving this point home all weekend here. Ryan Gilchrist leading the charge right now with a gap of 20 points in his advantage, but it's all about Fru right now. He has the opportunity to make up so many points on Tohoto after Tohoto got out in the round of 16. Yeah, sometimes the whole season, the king and queen overall, comes down to moments like this where a rider who's sitting back there in the 3rd spot just has a good day.
Yeah, we're here on the second half of the season, so every single point is going to start mattering a lot to these riders. Earlier in the season, you know, a little mistake here, get wind blown there, it's okay, it's a long season, there's a lot of events, but it's not quite crunch time, but these riders are focused on every single point available, and you know Jackson's looking to make it count here today.
For example, if you just make it in to the round of 4, you're looking at 50 points there. So a lot on the line here for Jackson Fru as he's sitting 0.6 ahead of Daniel Ferri in this Run 2 matchup.
Oh, looks like Ferri having a hard time on that 3 again. Could be the win, but not sure. Jackson just laying down the horsepower. That's one thing I love about watching Jackson's runs. It is just 100% intensity from top to bottom. Staying as low as possible on the jump, getting a small knack-knack trick off, but really relying on that time that he has. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that upper jump for Ferri. I don't know if it was just 2 bad luck situations with the wind or if that lip is kicking him a little weird. Yeah, tell me what you're seeing off that first jump for Ferri.
Man, I think that this wind is a bit of a headwind and it's making it a little bit harder to clear this jump. He's tagging that deck every single time.
Yeah, a lot of times just the mental side of it. When you know it's windy and you kind of expect to be affected, it affects you. Getting that bar spin to X up pretty good there on that final jump. Just tucking the bike in and getting it around, man. That was a close one.
Jackson has those tricks that he can do no matter kind of what speed he's coming into the jump with. That knack-knack is working really well for him, and he's able to lock in the fastest time of the day here. Wow, just 0.2 ahead of Ryan Gilchrist's time.
Yeah,
he's got a great formula going for himself right now, Jackson Fru.
Yeah, he does. Keep an eye on those fastest times of the day as they pop up. You should see those times dropping in nearly every run going forward. Once we get into round 4, that's when they really start pushing it. These riders got to build on their day. That's the key to this competition. Same in slopestyle, or same in slalom, same in pump track. It's really a way of building your momentum, you know, because if you go too fast and you push yourself into a mistake, you're kind of starting from zero. And right now, there's no starting from zero. You need to build throughout the day, make sure your fastest run is the last run of the day, and really keep building.
Well, Bernd Winkler and Jackson Frew have punched their cards to the round of 4, and one of these riders is going to do the same. Both of these riders had mistakes in run number 1, but we found ourselves here with a really tight matchup, just a quarter of a second separating these two. Theodor Kovak has the advantage, and Jonathan Simek, hey man, just don't worry about that one gate. That one's there for looks.
Yeah, he's downloaded the track map in Google Maps, so they will be letting him know where the turns are before he gets there on this one, so I think he'll be good to go.
Without that mental error, he would have been sitting with such a big advantage now, but instead he's got a quarter of a second to make up. I can't wait to see what happens with this one. We're talking about the wind a little bit as we looked back on that moment from the last run with Daniel Ferri coming up a little bit short on jump number 1. We see the flag is filled with air right now, and the direction means so much, especially on those 2 jumps. Here we go.
The race is on.
Simek getting that whole shot. That's exactly what he needs to do right there. Pulls that cork flip, no problem this time. Gets around these gates, no confusion here. A little bit of a slip out of Simek coming out of that turn, so he's losing more time. But as we always talk about, time is available right here. There it is, double backflip, and he comes all the way around that time, but slips his pedals and misses the last 2 gates.
Theodor
sending a double flip.
Kovak had the advantage coming into this run, still decided to go for the double backflip on the last jump.
Because you beat me on
There's that corked flip right there, bars or flip X up out of Theodor.
I like that angle on John's corked out flip.
That's like a flip table almost, like a flip
nice
table. Yeah, I like it. It looks really nice.
You will score a little bit higher for doing a flip like that than you will just a straight flip. Of course, as we get ready to look at jump number 2 here, Simek adding a variation into his backflip.
And Theodor going around once and twice, and watch, his front tire will land first, and that takes his feet straight off the pedals when that happens.
We're really gonna get to see here if Kovak misses the gate. It's gotta be.
Yeah, it's the second one he misses.
Oh, he could have made that one as well. He just kind of decided to give up on it. Man, with the points he would have scored from the double flip, he would have been deducted a little bit with that foot slip, obviously, but we're gonna see Simek advancing into the round of 4. But when he jammed on the brakes thinking that he missed a gate in run number 1 of this heat, he did not think he was going to be advancing to the round of 4.
Yeah, what a whirlwind for Simek here today so far. But sometimes when that happens, it kind of takes your mind out of the competition. You're just like happy to be in the next round, and it loosens you up a little bit. So I'll be excited to see how Simek can build on that.
Well, I'm curious to see right now if Jaden Fleming is gonna go for this double backflip again. He's already slayed a dragon by knocking out Tohoto. Now he needs to make up 2.8 against Gilchrist. Man, it's gonna be tough.
Gilchrist absolutely hammering out of the gate. I am sure that Jaden's got that double flip in his mind. Oh, but then a dead air right there out of Jaden, so he's maybe just taking it easy right there. Just keep it staying safe. I did see kind of a big head hit when he crashed that double flip.
Look how hard Gilly's pushing right now.
That's that building thing I'm talking about. If you get a bye and you just cruise it, the next round you come into this, maybe the track has changed. It just throws you off your rhythm a little bit. So even when these riders do end up with an easy run like this, they're still gonna be sending it to keep that rhythm going.
So obviously Gilchrist had no idea that Fleming was kind of waving off the run after jump number 1. Here you see him with that dead sailor. Who knows, maybe he's not feeling too hot after that double backflip crash. But Gilly did not slow down. He was still pushing so hard. Obviously his tricks, you know, there's better tricks out there. Let's just put it that way. But he's making up for it by landing with the throttle on, starting pedaling before he's even made contact with the ground.
Is ET on the trick list? Was that a combo maybe?
It used to be. It might actually be. That's the best one to choose. Look at that right-hander. Breaking traction with that back tire. So much aggression when he throws his hips into the corner. Love watching this guy ride, and guess what? We're going to be able to watch him a whole lot more today. He just secured himself a spot into the round of 4. It would be Gilchrist going up against Simek. So there we go.
Thank you, guys.
It comes down to this: 4 riders to go. It's going to be Bernd Winkler, the number 1 qualifier, going up against Jackson Frew, the number 4 qualifier, who's sitting 3rd in the King standings. And then Gilly, man, never count him out. Even in a discipline that's based around tricks, he can find his way into those semifinal matchups. Can he salvage a podium out of this thing? Gilly, of course, the guy at the top of the King of Crankworx standings, and he's going to be adding some numbers next to his name from this event as well. But Jackson Frew, despite being 125 points back, this is still a very young weekend, and it's only stop 3 of 4. So this story is really coming down to these 3 here: Gilly, Tohoto, and Frew.
Yeah, definitely an exciting one so far already. We have Kovak and Fleming already out. Those are our number 3 and number 2 qualifiers. So anything can happen out here. You know, what qualifying suggested was going to happen is out the window.
Yeah, and if you haven't been able to come here any of the past 8 years to join us, well, the internet's great. You can watch us right now. You can also follow Crankworx on Instagram. Crankworx Innsbruck Instagram account as well has been posting a lot of what it's like to be here. So it's the next best thing to actually punching your ticket and standing alongside these courses.
Yeah, not everybody can make the trip to Innsbruck, but Innsbruck is there for you if you want to be here.
I agree. Look at this.
Yeah, such an amazing place. Like the city in the valley, huge mountains on either side. Flying in here is a ride in its own. Yeah, such a cool place here in Innsbruck.
The festival is young right now. This is day 1 of broadcast competition, but let's take this opportunity to look back at some of the action from last year.
Let's do it.
So in speed and style, the women's gold medal matchup came down to these 2, Robin Gooms and Harriet Burbage-Smith. These 2 are so close on and off the track, and it was a really tight matchup here for this gold and silver.
Yeah, both riders pushing the limits, doing huge flips. Their speed was nearly identical. Here they are switching sides. Has that super strong start. Flip combos coming out of Robin Gooms. Robin was the first female to actually pull a backflip in Crankworx competition at this very location a couple of years ago.
Well, it's time to join up with our women right now. We had less signing up on the start list, therefore we're picking up the competition in the round of 4 right now.
Yeah, looking at why maybe that field's getting a little smaller. A lot of the top females in speed and style have really put their focus into the slopestyle. Now with slopestyle having that female category, you know, they really want to focus on that and make the best possible showing that they can. So taking every day very seriously in practice. They've been out here riding since Monday, so quite important.
Well, somebody who has been absolutely killing it in the women's category in speed and style is Jordy Scott. We asked her about speed and style. She had this to say.
Speed and style is a tricky one. It's definitely hard to balance trying to do tricks when you're pushing yourself as hard as you can, going full speed. And it's just, again, like staying in your head and knowing what you need to do and not getting ahead of yourself and letting the person next to you mess you up.
Well, the person next to her right now is the Italian Martina Lippolis. She qualified 4th. And Jordy Scott is 100% on a tear. So if you're Martina right now, you're thinking, wow, I'm going up against the competitor in this discipline right now. Jordy started this season off with a silver in Rotorua. She won speed and style in Cannes. She's your number 1 qualifier here today.
Yeah, Martina, a fresh face here, jumping right in against one of the best to do it here in speed and style. Getting a little loose on those flat turns. They look really simple, but that is by far the most technical part of this course, those flat turns between jump 1 and 2, and then these flat turns after.
I think we're gonna see some time added on to these runs, Alan.
Yeah, both riders missing tricks on that final set. Martina having a blast out there in her first Crankworx.
Jordy with the tuck no-hander. Martina with the suicide no-hander. It looked like she maybe even comboed that. We're gonna know from this angle, did she take her feet off once she got her hands back onto the handlebars? Right side of your screen here. Do these feet come off? Yep.
Oh yeah, count it. That is a double combo right there.
Get the fries and the drink.
Not one that I've seen out here today, but definitely adding up to more points by the time you get to the bottom of the hill.
And what happened here? Do you attribute this to a little bit of a wind gust?
Well, Martina got a little bit out of rhythm on those flat turns up above, and I think that killed her speed. It does look like Jordy got a one-hander off, but Martina was not going to clear the jump, so no tricks came out. She was able to save the little huckabuck there on the landing.
So we're going to see a little bit of a score and a benefit. Nope, we're just going to break even there for Jordy. That one-hander basically broke even. It scored high enough to where there wasn't time added back on. But she's got a substantial lead here. Jordy Scott with 3.3 of an advantage going into their second run. Jordy Scott hanging out there, second place in the Queen standings, just by 28 points. But, of course, we like to spice things up a little bit. So the rider who is 28 points ahead of Jordy Scott, she's in the gate right now, Martha Gill, the number 2 qualifier. You love it. Your number 1 and 2 in the Queen standings are number 1 and 2 in the speed and style qualifications. Shania Rawson, the number 3 qualifier, is looking to be the troublemaker here in Martha Gill's quest to increase that 28-point advantage.
Looks like we have a little bit of a hold here for the wind. We definitely want this to be as safe as possible for the riders, but also give them the opportunity to do their best. It's a Crankworx World Tour.
And there we go. Cue the shot of the windsock. This is always part of the story when you're competing in the mountains. Turns out anything can happen out here. When you look at that forecast as well, it's like, how much do you trust it? Things change so quick out here. For the past 8 years, we've looked up into the sky. It's been full bluebird. Next thing you know, big rainstorm. So that's part of being a mountain bike athlete, is being able to roll with the punches and bob and weave with these elements. Here we go, Martha Gill and Shania Rawson on course.
Yeah, both riders looking very, very equal when it comes to the speed. Martha with a slight advantage now coming over these rollers into the final trick jump. Let's see what she's got. Gets that C grab. Oh, it looks like a dead end there for Shania Rawson, just barely holding on. The wind kind of howling through there by the time the riders got to the last jump.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that second jump is a little bit more exposed to the wind than the first jump. They look to be way more affected down there.
I like to listen in there and hear the riders' reactions as they come across the line. So Shania getting that tuck no-hander off, really clean. Big extension. Martha Gill getting both hands off, but only slightly. So Shania Rawson would have been ahead on points at this moment on course. But that's the thing, you gotta make it all the way to the bottom. Martha Gill pulling out quite a lead there, gets that toboggan off on the last set. And then watch Shania right here. Cases and bounces a little bit over the front, but was able to hold on to it, make it around those last 2 flat turns through the dust storm.
So with that non-trick, yeah, it's going to cost her 0.45 of a second, added back onto her time. Martha Gill is the leader here. She's got a 2-second advantage going into run number 2. And that's the fastest time of the day there, belonging to Martha Gill. So Martha takes the advantage into their second run, and we're back to the men. This should be Bernd Winkler and Jackson Frew loaded up into the gate right now. Bernd Winkler, of course, number 1 qualifier. He was 5th here last year, but took the silver in Whistler. He's one of those riders that has been climbing the ranks in speed and style. We got to mention as well, we haven't touched on this, but the rider who's been so dominant in speed and style, winning the past 3 events, started in Whistler last year and then both Rotorua and Kansas here. Garrett Meacham not on the start list. Wasn't able to make it here, unfortunately, so that really opens up the door for these other riders here to hop on top of that podium. I got my money on Winkler right now. That's what I'm going for. Who do you got?
I mean, it's a smart bet. If you go back and you look at when he did get that second place, the guy who beat him, Garrett Meacham, who's not here today. So that might be a little bit of confidence he can put in his pocket, carry him all the way to that win.
I feel like it's cheating. I get to set up that conversation, but I get to choose first. So I picked the guy who qualified first. But he's just looking solid today. But if you're going up against Jackson Frew, there's no room for a mistake because Frew, he's not going to go big with the tricks, but he's going to be really consistent with that knack-knack, and he's going to go really fast. Here we go.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting tactic what Bernd does right here. Bernd is not going slow, that's for sure. Gets that quadruple combo off. 360 bar to X up, 4 tricks, 4 scoring points. Keeping Frew honest on the speed, he's got him in his sights. Looks like Frew got that knack off. I missed what Bernd's trick was there.
I want to say a backflip bar spin. It's kind of hard to tell, but luckily we have slow-mo replays. But that's why I got my money on Bernd right there.
Yeah,
he kept it close, 1.2 behind Jackson, but he had big tricks on both jumps, scoring 125 points on jump number 1. That's already going to get him up there ahead of Jackson's time, and then another 100 points at the bottom. Ooh.
Yeah, remember, 100 points is worth 1 second.
Double truck to X up there. No wonder he got 125 points. I mean, 1.25 seconds taken off your time. Where else can you make up 1 1/4 second on a race course? That's what I love about speed and style.
Skipping a turn, maybe. That's how you can do it.
Here we go, last jump.
Inside the tape.
Yep. Nice clean backflip bar spin there for a second.
Nochmal zu sagen.
We got these riders waiting for their overall times here.
So Jackson Frew, if I were Jackson Frew right now, this would be one of those scenarios where I would say, man, I need to learn a bigger trick, because Bernd Winkler is fast enough and he has big enough tricks to where he can be the leader in this matchup right now. Jackson Frew, at what point are we going to get to see him go upside down? I know he's got an airbag. I want to see it so bad.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, that's for sure. He's definitely hungry for it, and that's definitely the next step. We see the speed is no question the 2 fastest times of the day.
He just needs a bigger trick. It'd be so hard to beat. We could say the same for Ryan Gilchrist right now. But things have been going his way. Here we go, run number 1 between Gilchrist and Simek.
Yeah, Simek has quite a deep bag of tricks there. Gets that corked flip out really smooth. And this is where Gilchrist is going to lay down the power. His skill and ability on those flat turns and in and out of these berms is unbelievable. X up to X up out of Gilchrist. Looks like we had a flip combo out of Simek.
Simek holding tight there, though. He held it within a second to the back tire of Ryan Gilchrist, which is super impressive. Simek scoring 70 on jump number 1, 62 on jump number 2.
Good job, bro. Cheers, dog.
Gilly down there in the 12 and 14 point range.
So Simek's going to need at least 100 points more when it comes to tricks in order to make up that time.
Oh,
yeah? He was looking back. Did you hear, Gilly? He's looking back at the replay of his trick going, oh, yeah? He's going, okay, if 1 X-up scores 7, if I do 2 X-ups, can I score 14?
I like that we can still hear him talking about his run.
It's working for him. Let's see here. Simek, though, is going to be the leader. It's a real tight one. Just 9/100ths of a second advantage there belonging to Simek.
That ain't much.
All right, Gilly. He doesn't have any more tricks to add. He's going to have to go that much faster in run number 2 if he wants to make it into that gold medal matchup. I feel like the balance is good though, right? Like these runs are so tight when you have this lopsided matchup between a rider that has tricks and a rider that I won't say they don't have tricks. It's just not the big ones.
Yeah.
All right, Martina Lippolis here with 3.3 seconds to make up that number 1 next to Jordy Scott's name is well earned. She's been killing it in speed and style. Let's see if she can keep it going.
So Jordy knows she's got a big advantage right here. She's gonna nail that first trick. Just needs to stay clean right here. Make no mistakes. Keep it on 2 wheels. Keep that rider right behind her. Martina really trying to make up what she can with these tricks. Let's see if she gets over this last one clean.
Jordy didn't get a trick.
Oh, neither did Martina. That was her opportunity right there. Looks like Jordy Scott making some contact with that last gate. I think she was clean through it though. We've got spotters in all locations on this track. They will be calling that out if that was a misgate, but I do believe she had it.
Jordy scoring a 75 for that tuck no-hander. Oh, Martina going for the nothing, trying to take all limbs off the bike.
Yeah, not a more dangerous condition to do it in the wind, but that's how hungry these athletes are. They're throwing it down, rolling the dice on every run.
Maybe the last trick you would want to do in the wind.
Might be your last trick in the wind.
Yeah, could be.
Oh man, did you see Jordy get blown big time?
We're gonna really see it from this angle. Oh, she got her hand off a little bit, had to get it back on in order to correct what the wind did to her bike. Those wheels, I mean, they just become a sail. So when you're in a side wind, it basically sweeps the rug out from under you. So if the wind is coming from your right, you fall toward the right because the sails are underneath you. Jordy has done enough. She advances into the gold medal matchup. She's gonna come home with some piece of hardware from Speed and Style. Big question is, well, we have 2 questions. What color will it be? And who will she be up against in that gold medal matchup? Next heat's going to be Martha Gill and Shania Rawson. We got Zane Adams here in the chat asking, does anyone do BMX racing? Well, a lot of these riders did actually, and one of them is Jordy Scott. It sounds like Jordy Scott's gonna be on headset right now. Jordy, can you hear us? How you doing?
Pretty good, how are you guys?
Doing great. I mean, we're looking at your results from this season so far. You're absolutely killing it. You qualified first right now. What is the biggest challenge? Is it the wind? We're watching you guys getting kind of blown around out there.
Yeah, definitely the wind. It's just so gusty. It'll feel so good, and then you get to the bottom of the run, and I mean, you're not really looking at the windsock. You're going to hit the jump either way, so that one was a little scary. Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Is it all about just kind of salvaging some sort of trick on that final jump right now? We see you squeaking your hand off just to try to play a little defense.
Yeah, I think so. It's always the hit from not doing any trick is pretty hard points-wise, so it's like, oh, that trick I wanted to do didn't work. Guess I'll do something.
All right, well, we hope the wind calms down for you out there. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, interesting talking about the wind and the big tricks and the smaller tricks. Sometimes it's actually easier in the wind to do a bigger trick, a flip or a 360, something you have a designated rotation and the wind won't really blow you off. But any straight trick right now is a gamble.
Big time. So we got Martha Gill and Shania Rawson in the gate. Martha with a pretty sizable advantage here, just over 2 seconds. Martha also has the fastest time of the day from that last run. And we had that question in the chat, do any of these racers do BMX? A lot of these racers started in BMX. Jordy Scott was one of them. And over the past few years, she's just grown on the Crankworx World Tour, competing in a variety of different disciplines on her quest to become Queen of Crankworx. Caroline Buchanan, the reigning queen, she came from BMX. Here we go, we got Martha and Shania on course.
Yeah, Shania coming out hot, having the lead right there, getting a super clean suicide no-hander over that first trick jump. Man, I can't call it. These riders are side by side. Oh, and then unfortunately Shania gets a no trick there.
That little toboggan for Martha on that last jump is going to mean everything.
Yeah, talking about if these riders do BMX. If there's any question if they do BMX, just watch the start.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was actually a tuck no-hander out of Shania Rawson on that first one, and it was Martha that did the suicide. So competing no-handers side by side. I like it.
See the range of points you can score on either of those tricks. Obviously, the further your hands get away from those handlebars, the bigger that number is going to be. You saw Shania score 75. Martha score 60. Shania crossed the finish line first. So Martha Gill is going to advance into the gold medal matchup against Jordy Scott.
Yeah, Shania was able to make up some of that time that she was behind from round 1, but unfortunately that no trick on the last jump just made it impossible to catch up to Martha Gill.
Okay, so Martha and Jordy will be in the gold medal matchup. There's only 28 points separating them. That's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Oh yeah.
100 points for the win, 80 points for second place. It's gonna be fun to see what happens. I think we got to check in with some of these social posts that we've been seeing floating around. This is what I do because you can't be everywhere at every point in time. We have so many different disciplines doing all their practices. So to stay up on everything, I follow Crankworx. I follow Crankworx Innsbruck account. I suggest you do the same out there. This is a sample of some of the stuff you're going to get to see. Some highlights from the whip-off last night.
Yeah, look at how picturesque that is. Up halfway up the mountain, you got to take a lift all the way up. You got to walk up a hill. You got to go across a lake. It's a little bit of a journey, but man, look where it is. It's like the most picturesque jump I think that exists in the world.
And they keep making it bigger every single year.
Yeah, absolutely. Go big or go home, you know. And I don't live anywhere near here, so I'm glad they made it bigger.
I'm not sure if that video showed all the tricks that went down, but it looked like a practice session for Rampage out there. There was front flips, back flips, Supermans.
Yeah, we were joking around. It was the flip off at first. Front flips, back flips, Superman C grab flips. Everybody was absolutely sending it.
Here we go. We got the men's bracket right now. I have picked Bernd Winkler for the win, but anything can happen because of the wind. And I don't think you've really picked one yet, so I'm going to say you got to do that right now.
You know, I haven't picked one, but I think I'm going to have to go Gilchrist. With a .097, that's almost nothing.
Let's do this.
That's like a blink of an eye.
I got Winkler for the win. You got Gilchrist for the win. We may see them go up against each other in the gold medal matchup. We're moments away from finding out. Winkler has the advantage over Frew. It is only a half of a second. And as we know, the strategy of Jackson Frew is pick the trick that you can do and just try to go faster every single run. It's been working for him right now. He's got the 2 fastest times of the day, but he needs to make up a half second here. The fact that Bernd Winkler is throwing big trick variations on both jumps, though, that's more risk. One little bobble, and you're going to see Jackson Frew secure himself a spot in that gold medal bracket.
Yeah, looking at those fastest times of the day, all 5 fast times are owned by Frew and Gilchrist, and they're all on the same second, so super close between the two of them. .536 for Jackson to make up right here. You know he's going to leave it all on the course right here. Let's see what he's got. Jackson gets that knack-knack secret out.
Triple truck from Winkler.
Bernd stepping it up. He knows that Jackson's going to lay it down right here.
Going so fast. He gets the knack-knack. Backflip double bar spin there for Bernd Winkler.
So Bernd stepping up his tricks, knowing he has to leave it all out there because that's exactly what Jackson's going to do.
Smoking time there from Jackson Frew, but look at the size of that number for Bernd Winkler's jump 1 score. Count them 1, 2, 3 bar spins while 360. We call that the triple truck driver. I believe Jackson Frew just smashed the fastest time of the day yet again. So we're seeing these riders do exactly what you said they need to, Alan, which is every single run be your best run of the day.
Yeah, that's the only way to continue to advance. And look at Jackson suck up that lip as much as he can, stays on the ground. He's actually not clipped in with one of his feet doing that knack-knack and somehow pedaling before he even lands to get across the finish line.
There we go. It's official. Bernd Winkler secures himself a spot in the gold medal bracket.
Well, your pick advancing.
Way to go, Bernd Winkler. Jackson Frew, his night is not over. He will have an opportunity to earn himself a bronze medal and 3rd place points for the King of Crankworx standings. We're gonna see who's gonna go up against Byrne, who's gonna go up against Jackson here based on the results from this next heat. All right, Jackson, we're just up here watching you be so dominant in your speed. We're saying he would be impossible to beat if he had a couple more tricks. That's a separate issue. We'll talk about that later. I want to know how you keep going faster. The conditions aren't getting any better, yet you keep posting the fastest time of the day each run.
Man, just trying to step up. You know, as you said, I don't have the biggest tricks here, so I've got to keep stepping the speed up every time and try and force a mistake or hope. But, you know, when you're going up against guys like this, man, you're swinging for the fence and praying.
You're 125 points back in the King standings. You're currently sitting in 3rd. Today's a big day for you, right?
Yeah, every event is an opportunity to build some more points. Obviously, Gilly's making it really hard on all of us, so it's we're just swinging for everything we can and hope we can make some gains.
Well, let's see if you can get another bronze. Go get them.
Thank you.
Good stuff right there from Jackson Frew. You hear him. He's like, I know. You know, you can hear it in his voice. He knows he needs some bigger tricks, but he's just pushing that much harder to make up for it on the speed. And, man, it's fun to watch somebody just pushing where the limit exists each run. There's a look at those standings right now. As we mentioned, Frew sitting in 3rd. He's 125 points back. Gilchrist is the man at the top right now, but he's swinging from behind in this heat. He's only 9/100ths of a second back. Jonathan Simek has really been putting it together today.
Yeah, but you know what? Gilly's not going to back down. He sees the opportunity to extend his lead in the King right now. Let's see what he can do. Look at the movement around those flat corners. And Simek not too far back, but man, look at the speed that gets the double X up and the ET.
Oh, he's gonna lose a little time there.
Yeah, Simek casing that jump a little bit, so not gonna get as high a score on that trick as he would have if he would have perfectly cleared it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Simek was about a second behind Gilly in run number 1. He's 2 seconds behind on that one, losing some time, coming up a little bit short on that final jump. So there's the scores for Simek, a 73 and a 58.
Just look at the power and skill of Gilchrist. Back tire never leaves the ground, getting pump and momentum off every single one of those rollers. Coming into this first jump, extending his lead. And I think this was a little bit of a one-up. He did a toboggan, then an X-up, so that was a new combo for him.
I would score that higher. Would you score that higher than a double X-up?
Yeah, for sure.
2 different tricks in a combo. Let's see what they do with it.
So much movement in the air. Such a rad shot. You see Simek coming around.
Scored at 35. Yeah, that's higher than what he's been getting for those double X-ups.
And then straight back on the pedals. And just look at the beauty of Gilchrist going through these flat turns. Look at that lean angle. If you want to know how to turn, that's how you do it. All of that weight directly down on the ball of his foot, pushing all of that pressure onto the side knobs, pedaling, just working the bike, using a little bit of magic to get around that gate. Unbelievable riding.
That was a little bit of that little skirt move he did right there. He was facing on the wrong side of the gate in the last second, a little swervy magic move.
Sometimes all you need to do is believe.
Oh, man. So you see Simek there coming up short on that backflip X-up. He bounced off the landing, but he was already trying to crank pedals before he even landed from that double bouncer. There! Look at Gilchrist celebrating, making it into the gold medal matchup.
He does it right there. That fist pump was to extend his lead in the overall King of Crankworx standings. Frew headed to the bronze medal matchup. And Gilchrist headed to the gold medal matchup against your man Winkler. Hey, our 2 picks are up against each other.
Yes!
How about that? The number 1 and the number 7 qualifier. Not something you usually see.
What's on the line here? We got to put some stakes on this wager.
Well, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat steak. I don't know.
How about, well, I know you drink a beer, so winner buys the beer.
I'm in. Let's do it.
I got Winkler. You're my man. But Gilly, man, he's going to be a tough one to bet against when there's any sort of timed element in a discipline. It's going to be tight. Bronze medal set. Gold medal matchup set. It's going to be Frew and Simek battling it out for 3rd place, and then Bernd Winkler and Ryan Gilchrist duking it out for the gold and those 100 points up for grabs for the King standings. And then for the women, of course, Jordy Scott and Martha Gill, the top 2 in the Queen standings. This is kind of like what we would script if we got to choose an entertaining speed and style competition to start our day 1 of broadcast here in Innsbruck.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That men's circulation there was so exciting. I almost forgot we had the women too. Like there's so much excitement going on. The racing is super tight. This is a good day.
We talk about how dominant Jordy Scott has been since coming back from injury. She's been doing really well in the speed and style discipline. She's also been doing really well in slalom, and we have a whole lot of disciplines coming up the next 2 days. We've shuffled the schedule a little bit, so a little bit of news for you. Tomorrow's actually going to be dual slalom. We will see Jordy Scott out there looking to grab some hardware and some points for the Queen overall standings. And then Sunday's a big day, 2 events. We're going to have slopestyle in the morning and then pump track in the evening.
I love a good double broadcast day. Yeah, slopestyle, you know, they want to give those riders the best opportunity to do their best out there on the course, and the weather's looking a little bit better for Sunday, so I think that's why they made that decision.
So Jordy Scott picking up a couple wins at the last stop in Cairns, Australia. She won the speed and style, kind of just up in the ante from that silver that she pulled off in Rotorua, and then she won the slalom. So she has a ton of momentum coming right now. You think she's got what it takes to beat Martha here in this speed and style gold medal matchup?
I mean, I would never, ever count Jordy Scott out, but Martha's looking pretty strong out there.
I think it's going to come down to who can summon the courage to trick in the wind on that final jump. Unless the wind decides to play nice with us, which it just may. I'm looking at that Red Bull windsock right now, and it's pointed at the ground. So this is a great time to drop this Run 1 bronze medal matchup here between Lippolis and Rawson.
Our first medal round here. I feel like this Crankworx Innsbruck has officially started off. We're going to start giving out some hardware.
Good stuff here. The number 4 and 3 qualifying riders will be battling it out for 3rd place points. Lippolis and Rawson on course.
Yeah, Rawson with that gate. There was that question earlier about BMX. I can tell from that gate
nothing.
She has that BMX, but as you mentioned, Martina getting that nothing, but a little bit slippery in those flat turns. Those turns are slicker than a mayonnaise sandwich. You got to hold on tight through there. Shania Rawson extending her knee, but getting a no trick. It looked like Martina maybe got a handoff.
She did. She got the one-hander. She crosses the finish line just about 2 seconds behind Rawson. Let's see what kind of defense she played with that one-hander on the final jump. So the nothing, it definitely was a nothing for Martina. We'll see what the judges decide to do with that. Martina making sure she doesn't miss that gate. There you go, good extension there from Shania Rawson on that tuck no-hander. It was really early, so we almost missed it. But we can confirm that Martina did get hands and feet off that bike. Judges will score her for a nothing. It's a big range of potential scores there for a trick like that, depending on how big the extension is.
And then this is where things get interesting. A no trick out of Shania Rawson there, so she's going to get time added to her.
0.3 of a second added there. Martina scored a 90, so 0.9 taken off of her time from that nothing on jump number 1. But Shania Rawson will be the leader of this one going into their second run to determine who gets this bronze medal.
Yeah, it seems like maybe, like you were mentioning, the wind is a little bit more prominent down there at the bottom, and it is affecting those riders a little more than the jump at the top.
It's so on and off, though. The last time I turned around and looked at the sock, it was pointing at the ground. Now we just had a little bit of a cloud come over, and the wind picked up again. It's sitting at a horizontal angle now. Anything can happen out here. It looks like we're staring at a postcard. That's just what it looks like when we turn around. Insane.
Thank you to the volunteer team for the board. All this would not be possible without
Yeah, it's like living in a postcard.
It's pretty unique up here, a city that is literally this close to access to the mountains. So much community that definitely enjoys something like this, a Crankworx festival coming to their hometown.
Yeah, so much sport history here in Innsbruck. I think 3 different Olympic events, 2 winter and a special winter Olympics have all happened here. So no stranger to the top level of competition here in Innsbruck.
They do it right. You know how big the crowd usually gets for slopestyle? I can't wait for Sunday. This course has been kind of modified to what we saw last year. And the riders say they're really loving it. A little bit different final feature we'll see on Sunday.
Yeah, it's cool how the course has evolved over the years. Like, obviously, the riders give their feedback, and the builders take that into account, and they come back the next year, and things are just a little bit different, but every time they come back, it's just a little bit better. And after 8 years, this is definitely the best course that we've had.
Yeah, so many historic moments that we look back on now as moments that we'll never forget. They took place right here at this venue. One of them was during Speed and Style 2019. Take a look at Thomas Lemoyne's handlebars here.
Yeah, going for a 360 bar spin to bar spin, but only gets a half bar spin on the second one and lands with the bars backwards. Doesn't even blink or skip a beat. Continues to just absolutely send it through this course.
We were thinking, what's he gonna do? There's still another jump on the course here. Bear in mind, he can't really reach his brake lever. He still goes for a backflip X-up attempt. Going up against Kyle Straight. Kyle has no idea what's going on, and the Lemoyne says, look at my handlebars.
Lemoyne's like, what just happened? Yeah, that does so much to your bike with your bars backwards. It doesn't only affect the bars, but your whole wheelbase gets shorter and everything is sketchier.
Well, the Specialized Dual Slalom is now going down tomorrow. That's going to take place 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, local time here. Check your local listings. Make sure to join in on the Red Bull Bike YouTube channel. We'd love to have you for that one as well. And make sure you leave your comments below for a chance to win this nice t-shirt we have here. The only place you'll ever get a Crankworx Innsbruck 2024 t-shirt is right here at the venue. So for anybody who's not at the venue, this is the only way to get one unless you got a nice friend who's gonna bring one home for you. But I bet they won't have it filled with autographs from some of the best riders in the world. So make sure you leave us a funny comment. That's a good way to win this t-shirt. Something entertaining in the comments. We've got Caroline Buchanan, Martha Gill, Georgia Astle, Tohoto Ariki Penny, the reigning king of Crankworx, Jackson Frew, Jaden Fleming, and Jordy Scott, all to sign this t-shirt. And it doesn't even really matter if it's your size or not, right? You're probably gonna put it on a wall anyways. It's a small, which means you don't have to reserve as much wall space for it. And you don't have to pay for as big of a frame, right?
That's efficient.
Or if you are small, you can wear it and brag to all your friends. Send us some funny stories. We're actually right here with an iPad reading your comments right now. Is it finished? No, it's not finished, Ludo. We've still got some more action to go. We just got a little bit of wind, right? So we're getting the riders in the gate. Hey, Ludo, guess what? We're doing it. We got riders in the gate right now. And the stage is set for a pretty insane gold medal matchup. We've got Burned and Gilly going for that gold medal, but the bronze medal matchup is in the gate right now. It's Jackson Frew and John Simek. Jackson Frew milking those knack-knacks because he is just so darn fast. He can get away with it. John Simek, though, holding close to the back tires of these race specialists with some trick variations to score those bigger points. That's how he's earned his ticket here into this bronze medal matchup.
So Jackson Frew in a little bit of damage control right here. He knows Gilly's gonna gain points on him in the overall, but he can minimize the damage here today. Let's see what Jackson's got. Get the trick off.
He got the C-grab knack-knack at least that time.
Yeah, C-grab knack-knack for Jackson Frew, that corked flip for Jonathan Simek, but look at the speed of Jackson Frew. Gets that knack-knack out.
Oh, John not getting a big flip variation there. That's gonna really hurt his chances at grabbing this bronze medal. Something on his bike broke.
Oh, I didn't flip or anything on the last one. I'm out.
We got a mechanical issue there for John Simek, which is super unfortunate. Come all this way, make it into the bronze medal matchup and have a mechanical error. I gotta dig that C-grab knack-knack. I know he's been doing it on and off on that first jump, but he got it sideways enough to where we could really see that hand on the seat. And the standard knack-knack down there on the second jump. John Simek is going to have a tall task ahead of him if he wants to grab the bronze medal.
I don't know what I'm going to do next run. So I have a bike.
Yeah, it sounds like his mechanical has ended his day, maybe.
Jackson's like,
Jack,
not my problem, bro.
I'm not the guy to ask, bro. You can't use my bike. I'm in that run.
Sounds good to me. If you don't want to ride the next run, cool. I'll take bronze medal and all those pretty points. Third place is worth 60 points. Jackson would love that, considering he's 125 points off the lead in the King standings going into this event. But that guy there who's in the gold medal matchup, Ryan Gilchrist, yeah, he's poised to extend that lead right now. The gold medal matchup for the women in the gate. Jordy Scott, Martha Gill. I think it's a lot of this run and who gets this gold medal. It's gonna come down to what they're able to muster up on that last jump.
Yeah, really excited for this matchup right here. Both riders are pretty close on speed and style, so it's gonna be tight.
Strategically, they gotta be thinking about an easy trick that is not that vulnerable to win, to just squeeze out on that last jump. Good start there from Martha.
Yeah, definitely a good start, especially against Jordy Scott, the BMXer.
Jordy
Gets
got
the
right
techno
up.
hander off. It looked like Martha got the suicide off, so both riders clean on the first set. Jordy pulling a slight lead on time right now on course, but Martha pulling back up side by side. Gets the toboggan, both riders get toboggans. And on time it looks like, oh, Jordy!
Some contact there in the gates, right at the finish line. It looks like
Martha missed losing some spokes. It looked like maybe Jordy Scott's pedal went into her front wheel. Yeah, both riders were pedaling and sprinting across the finish line, really just focused on what was right in front of them and kind of veered into each other. But here's the first jump. Both riders getting their tricks off. A tuck no-hander from Jordy, a suicide no-hander from Martha. And then both riders getting toboggans off here. And then look at this. Martha ends up pulling side by side. What did she do in these bottom turns to make up that much time? She had her head down and both riders went a little bit wide. Really nobody's fault there, just a racing incident. And Martha losing a couple of spokes there. That was actually kind of an easy fix if she needs to borrow a front wheel from somebody or wrap those spokes around some of the other ones, but.
You broke my spoke with your pedal. You scratched my pedal.
0.010
yes!
of a differential, so almost nothing in it going into that final lap.
That is going to be such a good run here. She's gonna save a little weight, remove that spoke, get down to race weight. Gold medal matchup here. This one is going to be between the #1 qualifier, Bernd Winkler, a man who is really on his game when it comes to speed and style right now. He has so many tricks to choose from. And then the guy Ryan Gilchrist, who has just been leaning on his speed, pulling out some combos to sneak a little bit of score. He's been doing that toboggan to X up. What's he gonna choose here?
Gilchrist absolutely smashing the gate down, already with a full bike length. Gets that toboggan to X-up combo down. Oh, but Winkler barely making it around those flat turns, and Gilchrist extending his lead down to the second jump. Gets the X-up to X-up. Double bar spin backflip, so triple combo. Look at the drift around that last turn out of Gilchrist. Are you kidding me?
I think Bernd is looking pretty good. He crossed the finish line 1.3 behind Gilchrist, but he had a triple truck on jump #1 and a backflip double bar spin on jump #2. There it is, 122 points. So he's already shaved off 1.2 seconds of the 1.3 that he needs from that. He did get the third bar spin, didn't he?
I missed that one. I was looking up ahead to the next turns because he almost missed those next flat turns.
He did.
But there, that flip bar to bar was absolutely perfect.
It's so key for Bernd Winkler to keep it close to the back tire of Ryan Gilchrist there. Scored another 120 points on that last jump. Yep, he's gonna be the leader. Bernd Winkler with 0.8 of an advantage going into the final matchup of the day there for the gold medal in the men's category.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, that last turn out of Gilchrist kind of gave me the tingles.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? When the rider is a trick specialist, they go, okay, I'll add another bar spin. But when they're a race specialist, they're like, well, I guess I'll just have to ride like unthinkably fast
I'll
down
just
this
pedal
course.
more.
Take the brakes off. Okay, Shania Rawson has the advantage here. It's a 1.4. This one's for a bronze medal.
And Martina out of Italy, a snowboard and mountain bike coach. That's her day job. She definitely has some big tricks, so it's not out. She gets the nothing off, barely holds on to it. Shania Rawson starting to pull a little bit of a lead here. So now Shania just needs to keep it clean, bring it home, don't make any mistakes, don't override it, goes for the tire grab.
Well, Shania is going to have it for sure. Martina, unfortunately, not able to get a trick on the final jump. We'll wait for the official scores to come in. But this one's looking good for Shania Rawson in this bronze medal matchup. She had the advantage coming in. She did what she needed to do on both jumps. Martina almost getting hung up on that nothing.
Yeah, the front end started floating up on her a little bit. One of those things that can happen doing that trick, the nothing. They call it a nothing because that's what you're holding on to the bike with. Absolutely nothing. Feet and hands completely off, but yeah, that front end coming up just a little high.
She scored an 81 for it though. She still was able to put it clean to the landing, but it definitely didn't help the way she was lined up for those gates. But here, the tire grab from Shania is gonna help out a lot, because if you take a look at Martina right here, she does not get a trick. They added 0.3 of a second onto her time. So it is all but official here. I have a feeling we're going to be celebrating a bronze medal here with Shania Rawson, but we'll wait for the official word.
And Martina being eliminated, but did you see that smile on her face? She might not have won this, but I think she might have won fun here today. Having a blast,
and
also
also like
the best in the world.
Come back. Like, you obviously, Martina, have what it takes to compete in this discipline. She settles for 4th place, and the bronze medal goes to Shania Rawson. Well earned.
And of course, we will see that again in the official prize-giving ceremony later on.
Shania, you made it into the bronze medal matchup to start the season in New Zealand. Unfortunately, you finished in 4th there. How great does it feel to be on the podium here today?
Honestly, it's kind of mind-blowing. Spin the style is definitely the one that I lose a lot of sleep throughout the week. I'm definitely out of my comfort zone a lot, but I'm honestly stoked to make it down from top to bottom. So yeah, on to the next.
Yeah, Shania, congrats on that medal. One thing I got to know, I mean, I can see it, but I can't feel it. How is that wind affecting you coming down to that final jump compared to the first jump? Is it increasing as you're getting down the course?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a steady, it's more of a gust. So what you start of at the top might be slightly different to when you get down to the bottom. So you just have to kind of adjust to it a bit.
Yeah, staying fluid. You did a great job down there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, it's a great way to start off the weekend. I got a question for you. Are we going to be able to see you competing in the slalom tomorrow?
I am. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. It's kind of a surprise getting it moved to tomorrow, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Well, enjoy the celebrations tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow in slalom. Congrats.
Thank you.
Did you hear that echo?
Yeah, it was nice.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We're in the valley.
Literally bouncing off of those mountains back there. Congratulations to Shania Rawson. Well, we've got a lot to go here. We got a couple gold medals to give out.
I'm ready for it.
We got a bronze medal to give out in the men's category.
It's going to be good. I don't know why, but I got my money on Gilchrist still.
Okay, well, that's great, because
I got your beer on Gilchrist.
I'm not budging as well. You're going to be buying my beer, because I know my man is going to take the lead there. Bernd Winkler, he took the win in Whistler. That's the hardest one to win, because the crowd is the biggest and there's the most pressure, so I'm sticking to my guns. I'm curious, though, in the bronze medal matchup for the men, is John Simek going to have a bike to ride?
That is an important thing to have in this event. I don't think he's going to get much if he runs.
It's a bike event. You need a bike. Here's a look at our top 3 in the Queen overall right now. Martha Gill is leading things out with 560 points. That's before today's speed and style event, though, where Shania Rawson just earned herself a bronze, but Jordy Scott is sitting there in third. Jordy and Martha both in the gold medal matchup. So it's going to be 100 points to one of them, 80 points to the other one. And we don't know what's going to happen in that gold medal matchup, but one thing we know for sure is that it's still going to be a tight race for Queen once the dust settles on tonight's competition.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at the contenders there, they're executing, right? They're all getting medals today at some point. Which one's going to be gold and bronze? That's the one we don't know yet, but the contenders are executing.
You know what's fun to watch when it comes to Queen and King of Crankworx is all these racers who probably would never sign up for speed and style if it weren't for this overall. What do you think guys like, Tuhoto, Gilly, and Jackson Frew, like what is going on inside that helmet? This is way outside their comfort zone. It's fun for us to watch, but it's got to be stressful for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just open-minded, right? They're just staying fluid. They're into this Crankworx World Tour. They've become, I think, all of those names that you just said. You could call them Crankworx specialists. They do other events, but this is where their focus is. Their whole year, everything they're doing in the off-season, they're putting it into these events.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes for a very impressive 4-stop world tour out here. The matchup right now, the guy who is the reigning king, he's still hanging out there. He's very much in the hunt there in second place to Hoto. Jackson Frew in third place. But Ryan Gilchrist, he was new to the Crankworx World Tour just last season, and we interviewed him. This was actually an off-camera interview that we did for local TV. We asked him how big of a deal it is for him and if he's going to come to all 4 stops. Remember what he said that his team manager told him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's coming. He's here.
The team manager said, that King of Crankworx title, yeah, we would like you to obtain that. So we knew he was going to be showing up to the next 3 stops on the tour after he showed up to Rotorua and performed so well.
Yeah, and then had just that amazing performance there in Cairns, home country, in front of his heroes, Mick Hanna, his teammate. Yeah, unbelievable riding out of Gilchrist and really coming into his own.
Unavoidable to do things like come to all 4 stops, sign up for all these disciplines that may not be your specialty, and that's why you sit down on the grass, grab a beer, and just enjoy the show. As the stage is set, with this being stop 3 of 4 on this world tour, the stakes just keep getting higher and higher. And the stakes right now between you and I got Bernd Winkler, and you got, who do you got again? You got Gilly.
Who do I have? Come on.
How am I voting against Ryan Gilchrist in any event that has gates on the ground and a clock, and I'm voting against Ryan Gilchrist? I may be buying beers today, but I got faith in my man Bernd Winkler. He's got the tricks to do it.
We see Coop in the chat, just came up on his new bike, just getting into this. He's watching to learn. Well, this is a good way to learn, watching the best riders in the world lay down the speed, lay down the style. Everything you need to learn and do on a bike is happening today on this course.
Ooh, yes. Okay, I think I know what took them so long to get into the gate. John Simek has a bike to ride. Let's see when we get this view of the gate. If it's the same bike he's been on all day, it is definitely not. He has borrowed a bike here in this bronze medal matchup for the men, going up against Jackson Frew. So he had all of 40 seconds to get used to this bike, probably rode it up the hill to the start gate. This is going to be interesting. He's on a hardtail now. He was on a full suspension before. He's got 2.7 to make up, and he is not giving up. He's going to go for it.
I'll tell you who's going to go for it is Jackson Frew. He's got a wounded animal out there on course. He's definitely going to pounce.
This is going to be an absolutely fast, no holds barred run here from both of these riders. And they're off.
Yeah, Simek with a pretty good gait, looking strong for never riding this bike before.
Oh man, perfect rotation on that flip, even though he has no idea how that bike handles.
Yeah, it looks like Frew's maybe laying up a little bit, so he knows he's got the advantage, not only on time, but on course currently right now. Yeah, doing exactly what he needed to do, staying smooth.
Yeah, you hear, he said, I did it. Jackson Frew looking good. Obviously, we got to give credit to John Simek right there for not giving up, grabbing a bike from who knows who, and going for it in that run 2 of the bronze medal matchup here against Jackson Frew.
I hope it was a fan's bike.
Jump one. We always call this jump number one, but it is very, very accurate in this case. The first time John Simek ever jumps this bike, he's backflipping in the middle of a bronze medal matchup.
About 8 feet away from his competitor.
Yeah, this bike rides well. Thanks for letting me use it. You know the crazy thing though? He's like, each bike has different chainstay lengths, top tube lengths, which means you have to lean a little bit more or less depending on how that compares to the bike that you're used to. So for your first 2 times catching air on a bike to be flipping is so impressive.
Yeah, to put some perspective on that, you know when you go and you rent a car that you've never driven before and everything just feels wrong? You don't know where the mirrors are, you don't know where the blinkers are. It's exactly the same.
Are you still ranting about your current rental car?
I mean, you know.
That thing drives for you. This guy likes to drive. There you go, it's official. Jackson Frew secures that bronze medal and all the points associated with third place in speed style, which is 60 points.
I went off the lip and then I heard you squealing. I was like, don't laugh, come on.
You hear that? He was screaming in the air.
Yeah, I can't help it. Like shit's weird, I'm just screaming.
So curious whose bike that is. I was thinking for a second, maybe it's John's bike that he brought for pump track or something, but you heard him before saying, I don't have another bike. Okay, here. It all comes down to this for the women's field, the gold medal matchup, run number 2. Let's take a look back at run number 1.
Yeah, run number 1 between these two riders could not have been closer. A .01 differential when it came down to the end. Both riders were clean on jump 1. Martha was a little bit behind there on time, but watch how she slowly starts to inch her way forward. After this second jump is where she really makes her burst through these final turns, some of the most technical turns here. And then we almost had a collision. Unfortunately, Martha losing a couple front spokes out of her wheel there. But she's back on the gate, no worries. Yeah, both riders just went a little wide out of those turns as they were laying down the horsepower. Just a racing incident. No tactics there.
There was the broken spoke there. We got so much going on here. The borrowed bike for John Simek, the broken spoke there for Martha Gill. It sounds like she borrowed a full new front wheel, so this tire is different than what she's been riding. Hopefully this rotor syncs up nicely to that caliper.
The knobbies do look a little bigger on that tire, so this could play in her favor.
Hey, this could be nice. Getting a little dry out there.
Look at that front tire difference between both those riders. Big trail knobs and like small bike park knobs.
How about the deficit though?
Yeah.
100th of a second there, the advantage belonging to Jordy Scott. And when you consider these are the 2 riders at the top of the Queen standings, yeah, this is going to be a good one, Alan.
Yeah, this is going to be really good. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Jordy and Martha Gill side by side over the first obstacles.
Oh,
I couldn't tell. Did Martha get a trick off? I'm not sure.
Jordy got the tuck no hander. The hands came off.
Jordy hitting some gates right there. Maybe just pedals. So much happening on course right now. Martha, here she comes at the bottom of the course on speed. She's catching up. Oh, and Jordy sliding around that last turn.
Oh, man. Martha definitely got a trick off on the last jump. I'm not sure if Jordy did. Oh, these slow-mo replays are going to really tell a story here. Okay.
So watch Martha. Did she get a trick off? No trick out of Martha on the first set. Okay, so at that point, she's in save it mode.
Ooh.
Feet off, hitting all the gates. Oh, it looks like, oh, did you see that? Jordy Scott almost crashed. Her pedal caught that gate.
Ooh, Jordy just getting one hand off there. Going for the tuck no-hander. It was a tuck one-hander.
Jordy was lucky to even make it to the second jump, to be honest. That pedal caught that gate and almost sent her over the front. Right?
Oh, she got it. She's good.
This gate right here, she clips it. Almost goes over the front, but was able to save it. Every push-up she ever did just paid off right there.
So Martha will have 0.3 of a second added on based on not getting a trick on the first jump. It looks like Jordy got double toboggan from Martha.
And Jordy looked like she did get a handoff. It was like a tabletop one-hander. I don't think she's ever done that before.
I think she might have been going for the toboggan as well, but the hand never found its way to the seat, but it's tough to say what she was going for. All I know is by getting a handoff, it made it so she broke even there. No time additions or deductions. There it is, it's official. Martha Gill grabs the silver medal. And Jordy Scott takes the gold. Wow, those hands just sneaking off the bars meant so much there. Jordy Scott grabs another win.
Yeah, probably the loosest runs for both of these women out here of the entire day. Just leaving everything they have out there, pushing from top to bottom on the speed, on the tricks. Everything they had was given today.
It's insane how tight that race was. How much each rider was struggling to get a trick off. Now it literally comes down to just getting that hand off the grip a little bit. Jordy, wow, what a season so far when it comes to you and speed and style. A silver in Rotorua, a win in Cairns, and then you back it up with another win here. This one seems like the elements really played into it.
Oh yeah, definitely not my best performance there, but sometimes you just have to salvage and do what you can. So me and Martha were both struggling on that last one, but glad I could make it down.
That last jump, what were you going for? You got your hand off the grip a little bit, and I feel like it saved you. That gold medal is literally because you got your hand off a little bit on that last jump. What trick were you going for?
Well, I planned to do a T-bog, but that didn't work like a single time. So it all just ended up being a last-minute one-hander, and I guess that was enough.
Yeah, Jordy, at one moment I saw your pedal clip a gate and you almost went over the front end. I held my breath from there the rest of the way. What was going through your mind when that happened?
Yeah, I also was holding my breath, and I think Martha hit the gate on the other side. So we were both, there's some swear words going down the track, but we made it.
Jordy's so good. What a season so far in speed and style. We still got Whistler. Can't wait to see if you can back it up out there. You know what we're going to do right now, because I'm trying to do the math in my head right now, is I think you're going to still be 8 points behind in the Queen title. Are you going to compete in slalom tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Yes, well congrats on this one. Go get some rest.
Thank you.
Okay, come on, here we go. What's the math going to be? I think she's going to be 8 points in second. Yes, there we go. Martha Gill holds on to the lead with 640 points, and the gap is narrowed. Jordy Scott just 8 points down there. Shania Rawson remains in third place, and we have them all competing tomorrow. And of course, Sunday, there's going to be more points up for grabs with Pump Track. I love this stuff.
Oh yeah, so much happening. So much exciting racing. Jordy Scott really coming into her own, kind of becoming a little bit of a speed and style specialist, one of those riders that could really make huge gains by just learning a couple more of those big tricks. I think maybe you and I should have a clinic over the winter.
Well, we can do a clinic over the winter, but you can also buy me a beer later, because I'm going to win this matchup right here. You got Gilly, I got Burned, and there's one more run to go here to determine who snags this gold medal. Let's take a look back at the first run between these two.
Yeah, first run was really clean right there. We saw Burnt stepping up some of his tricks, barely making it around those turns right there, and Gilchrist just extending his lead, ripping around those S-turns. Gets his X up to X up off. Burnt stepping up to bar backflip in the wind, not holding back.
I'm going to say this right now. The only way that Burned will win this gold medal is if he gets those tricks or goes for something bigger. He needs 3 bar spins in his 360 on jump number 1. He needs 2 bar spins in his backflip on jump number 2. He's got to come back by 0.8. It wouldn't hurt his cause if Gilly had a mistake, but what are the odds of that happening?
Slim to none in my book.
Okay. Well, one of us is buying a beer. Here we go.
So here they go. Gilly snaps out as expected.
And he's fast. 1, 2, 3, got it.
Burnt gets his triple truck driver, so he's looking good. Gets a little bit loose in those turns. Loses a little bit more momentum to Gilchrist. Let's see what he can do on this last jump. Gilchrist gets the X up to X up. He's clean.
1, 2. He got the backflip double bar.
Flip bar to bar.
Come on.
Will it be enough? 2.06 on time in that run.
Oh, man. I mean, we can speculate what we think right now. Okay. He's 1.2 back. That means he needs to score more than 120 points. He's already got 130 points on jump number 1.
Watch Burnt walk the line after the first jump. On the S-turns, he almost goes off track.
Okay, here it comes.
Gets the bar to bar, 2 bar, 360. So a quadruple combo.
Gilly's already eyeing up that gate. 1, 2, 3. Look at when Burns' eyes get up. He's still looking at the handlebars. He's thinking about his rotation. Now he gets to eye up and says, oh, I'm pointing the wrong way.
Little bit of an over-rotation and his weight went off. I don't know if that messed him up on the entrance, but this is where things get a little bit close for Bernd. Comes up, gets a little bit sketchy off that roller, and it gets almost a little bit understeered coming out, and he has to lean the other way. Look at him fighting the bike to get around that gate right there. And Ryan Gilchrist just on the horsepower, roosting out of the turns.
What a shot. Here we go, the double X up yet again there from Gilly.
And like you said, this is what it all came down to for Bernd Winkler. He needed to get that triple combo off, that flip bar to bar. So he's getting 3 different scores added. Really racking up those points, but will it be enough?
Okay, so, I mean, I'm doing math in my head right now and have a feeling I know who's buying the beers, but we're going to let the professionals take care of the official word. And there you go. Bernd Winkler does it by merit of those big tricks and staying close to the back tire of Ryan Gilchrist. Bernd Winkler takes the gold.
I'm going to buy you a non-alcoholic beer.
No, that is not what we talked about.
There was no fine print.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, awesome job. That's what they call a clean day for Bernd Winkler, winning qualifying, winning all of his rounds, including that gold medal, adding to his list of hardware.
What a relief. When you qualify first too, immediately so much pressure. Official results, here you have them. A bronze medal for Jackson Frew, a gold medal for my guy there, Bernd Winkler, and Ryan Gilchrist being so consistent here, picking up points in all the disciplines that he signs up for. Another 80 points to his name for that King overall standings. Bernd Winkler, man, congratulations. You were the #1 qualifier, and you held it all the way through to grab the gold medal. Big tricks you had to do non-stop in order to grab that goal. How much pressure was on your shoulders coming into that final matchup?
Yeah, dude, first of all, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it was such a big pressure. As I qualified first, I had the pressure. Maybe I can do first place in Innsbruck, which is a huge relief now here. Wow, it's crazy. I'm out of words, I'm sorry.
You're good. I can feel the crowd just polling for you, and your microphone is live to the house right now. Is there anything in the native tongue you want to say to get the crowd going?
Hey, thank you very much for the support. It's the best to win in Innsbruck, in my homebound. Yeah, not much to say. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you.
He did it. Let's hear it for Bernd Winkler, everybody.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a bummer if we went live to the house and I tried to get the crowd going? Yeah. That's gotta feel so good. So as Bernd Winkler soaks up the glory with that gold medal around his neck here shortly, we take a look at the king of Crankworx overall standings, where Ryan Gilchrist extends his lead, adding 80 points to his tally. And now Tohoto still holding down the fort there in second, and Jackson Frew playing some good defense by grabbing those third place points. And the story is far from over, but these three are really emerging now at this third stop of 4 on this 2024 tour as the ones that are going to be duking it out by the time we show up in Whistler.
Loud.
Yo, Gilly. Hey, man.
Hey, mate. How you going?
Congratulations out there, man. Great performance. You added some more points, 80 to be exact, to your king standings. How do you push harder and harder every single run, knowing that you don't have the tricks? You seem to figure out a way to go faster. Where do you find it?
Oh, it's my job. Look, I give it everything I got every single time I'm putting it on the gate, and going against world-class competitors. To be perfectly honest, I got a little bit lucky in this race, and I mean, it's no secret this isn't my discipline, and I'm happy to make it all the way through. and we get to stand on a podium. Unexpected item in the bagging area.
Yeah, Gilly, amazing job today. I got to ask you, we don't usually see the number 7 qualifier in the gold medal matchup. Did you have a mistake in qualifying? Were you laying up? Was there mind games? Or were you just able to put the pressure on and elevate your game that much throughout the day?
I mean, I definitely did elevate my game as far as just getting tricks done. None of them were special. You guys saw nothing was all that jaw-dropping in there. But it is speed and style. So like I said, I got lucky on the way through and made it as far as I could, and I'm very, very happy. Thank you, as always, Crankworx.
Yeah, well, thank you for putting on a good show as well. Celebrate tonight, but guess what? Your job is far from over. We're looking forward to seeing you in slalom and pump track. Congrats.
You bet, Cam. Thanks, guys.
Good stuff there from Gilly. You know what? It's got to feel good to have speed and style show up early on in the weekend as well, because this is not his specific discipline that he tends to thrive in. He's still got the two that, I mean, could be expected to win either of those coming up the next 2 days.
Yeah, absolutely. Do not count Ryan Gilchrist out in any head-to-head competition, and now we got to add speed and style into that. So, yeah, amazing athlete, amazing capabilities on the bike. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
So if you are also looking forward to seeing it, that's going to be 11 a.m. local time here, Central European time. So check your little iPhone app where you can go world clock, figure out what time that is for you, and join us right here again on the Red Bull Bike YouTube channel. Thanks for all of you joining the conversation here on the chat. We got Sean Triumph reminding us that soon it will be Christmas. I guess. Is it that close already? We're in June, July, August.
Halfway?
6 months away, okay. Well, we're closer to slopestyle Sunday than we are to Christmas, so I'm going to focus my energy on that. What are you going to do Sunday?
What am I going to do Sunday? I'm watching slopestyle from the best seat in the house. That's what I'm doing.
For the past few years, we've had this big scaffolding down at the bottom of the course. We're stoked. We're right next to the start tower here that we see Emil Johansson launching off of in his winning run from last year's slopestyle competition.
And that's right there. That was the magic of his run. Doing that Oppo Cork 7 up, slipping a pedal. We thought it was over, and somehow not only did he able to continue, but he also threw a truck out, nailing his run from top to bottom. Even got a bar spin on the ghost ride. And it was enough to not only win, but to secure the Triple Crown, which is not in his ability this year. No Triple Crown opportunity for him. So Godziak is the only man in the position to win the Triple Crown this year, coming off of a win in Cannes. Man, it's going to be good on Sunday.
Godziak could potentially win the Triple Crown. He's the only one with that opportunity. But anybody who has commented today has the opportunity to win this t-shirt. And we're about to find out who. Oh, hey, berm chasing. It might be because your username is so awesome, but you just won this t-shirt. Congratulations. Continue chasing berms. I hope you chase berms with this shirt on. We just threw it. It landed in an envelope. We're going to mail it to you. Somebody who's better at logistics than me will reach out to you for your address. Congratulations, Berm Chaser, and congratulations to all our riders out there to kick off this Crankworx Innsbruck 2024 weekend. What a show it has been in the Crankworx Innsbruck Speed and Style. Make sure, if you don't want to just watch this competition, make sure you join the Ride Companion Fantasy League. You can compete with your friends, put together your team, try to earn points throughout the downhill and the slopestyle disciplines. There's prizes up for grabs, so make sure you join in that fun as well. And you know what? This has been a lot of fun, the Crankworx Innsbruck Speed and Style, and we're gonna just continue to have more and more fun throughout the weekend. So make sure to join us tomorrow for slalom. I've been your host, Cam McCall, alongside Alan Cook. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.